I like to.
Kind of cut off. You need to move over a little bit because you're cut off. There you go. Gotta tell everybody we're on. Hello, everybody. We live? Oh, I guess we are. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. 1 week in December out of the way.
Wow.
It is.
No, this is the first. Is this the second week? Yeah, this is the second week.
This is the first week.
Wow.
We're entering in the second week. Thurman, good even.
Evening?
That's what he typed in, so I'll just
Really?
play it.
No, you don't need to.
Good even, Thurman.
Stop saying that.
Listen up, Lady Mo. Listen up, Lady Mo. Listen up. There she goes. Y'all see her looking at me. Y'all look at her. Don't look at me. Listen up, Lady Mo.
Just because we may have challenges off the screen, you shouldn't bring it on screen unless you want to discuss it on screen.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. I ain't nowhere near there.
Yeah, then you need to get off
I ain't
that.
nowhere near there. I said, loosen up, lady. That had nothing to do with
Dr. Didi does.
our challenge.
Dr. Mike.
Yeah, okay. Don't pay her no mind. Well, welcome everybody. I hope all is well. Yes, all is well, Thurman.
No, Spence, it's not. Let me tell you, my sink is leaking, Spence.
It's not that bad.
Remember the cabinet was uneven? Remember the hair of my food? It's not. Where is it at? Really?
Christine.
Hello. Yes, it is. Spence, please. We need you to come to our house, please. The sink is wet all down the bottom, and I am really just fed up.
It's not leaking up top. I'm just saying. That's not where the leak is coming from. Hello, Christine.
No, it's leaking. It needs to be repaired
Hello, Christine.
Immediately.
Hello, Christine. Good evening to you.
He's going to have some problems.
Good evening to you. Happy holidays to everybody.
Okay, I'm doing something wrong. I didn't do it right.
This is my favorite time of the season.
He loves Christmas.
I just love the period from Thanksgiving to Christmas. I love that whole season. Yeah.
My birthday will be a Monday.
Yes, I know. I know. What are we gonna do with you? Celebrate your
You had
birthday.
a whole year to figure it out.
I had no idea.
You had a whole year to figure it out.
Hello, Tadisha.
You guys need to send him some ideas.
Hello, Tadisha.
Please send him some ideas.
Hello, Jamal. I know he's not too far behind. That's a good thing. When you can see a couple and you know the other one's close by, that's a good thing. Build on that. Yeah.
You need to build on that birthday coming up.
Okay, maybe we'll try it on Saturday. Okay, Thurman. Yes, that'll work. Yep, right here. Tell him I said, hey, I know he hears me.
Sorry, I didn't share it properly.
Running away with me. Yes, I know it was just your imagination. You think they get upset we play instrumental stuff?
I hope not.
Because you know they funny, you know.
They didn't let me play Mary. It was terrible.
She's too popular.
Oh my goodness.
We have no rights to instrumentals.
We have absolutely no rights. We have rights to a lot of things, but not their music.
Not there, absolutely. Well, it's another Monday where we get to share and talk about relationships.
Really?
And I'm excited about it because this is what we do. This is who we are. This is an empowerment night. I'm telling you.
Really?
I'm just sensing it.
Is it because of my broadcast earlier, the Lady Mo show?
No.
Did you watch the broadcast?
No, I didn't. I heard the broadcast.
No, but you didn't watch it.
I didn't.
That's
watch
right.
it.
Don't even.
I watched the other ones though.
No, that doesn't. Think about that.
I watched the other ones.
So you want me to give you credit for the other ones, but not the ones?
I'm not asking for credit.
Oh God, this is going to be a night that you will not forget.
I don't need credit. I'm fully insured.
You think so?
I'm fully.
Honey, well you've lapsed. There's a lapse.
I am 100%.
No, there's a lapse.
As they say, vested.
No, okay.
You know what vested is? Is that when you've been in a situation a while, you're vested. You got 100% security. I'm vested. Somebody shout, he's vested.
Somebody shout, he's not vested.
Vested.
Somebody need to shout, he's not vested.
Oh, man. So we're going to have a great time tonight. But love to hear from you guys. We're going to be talking about crisis, how to handle crisis and how crisis breeds opportunities. Crisis breeds opportunities.
Yeah, we need to wait a few more minutes.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I'm just talking.
Okay.
When relationships with the divorce rate where it is, and with the coronavirus, we're seeing a lot more negative activity where couples are calling it quits and drawing back and really having to deal with things that they have put off or just not confronted over some time. And so I think it's appropriate that we have this discussion tonight to talk about how you can turn a crisis into a promise. How you can turn a crisis into an opportunity. And that's what we want to talk about tonight. So share this with your fellow friends and families that are in relationships, because we're going to need to figure out how to do this. And I think oftentimes when we're going through different challenges, we pull back instead of digging in. And that may be one of the principles I want to release tonight, that you got to dig in crisis. You got to dig in. You don't pull back. You dig deep. You dig deep and get your footing, because it may just throw you. If you're not deep enough and rooted in it, it may just throw you. That's what happens to a lot of folks who are not rooted in their relationship. The crisis will uproot them and throw them. And you got to have, and boy, am I getting ahead of myself? We're
probably.
We're going to dive into this thing. And so I want some conversation tonight. I want some Christine, Tadisha, Jamal, Thurman, and everyone that's watching. If you're watching, check in with us. How do you check in? Well, you type in your name, or you don't even have to type in your name. We see your name. Just say hello.
No, because we're on different social media platforms, so it was nice if they can type it in so we can see it.
Oh yeah, if you got a different hashtag in your name, please shout out your name.
Yes.
Because we want to get some feedback tonight. We want to hear from you tonight. How have you handled crisis? What have you overcome in your relationship where you can testify and say, you know what, we almost didn't make it, but God, but this situation happened and it was a turning point. And I think it's essential.
Hi, Nancy, how are you?
Hello, Nancy. Tell your husband I said hello. Tell him I said hello. I hope he get opportunity to watch with you tonight, because we want to talk tonight about crisis and how the crisis brings about an opportunity, and that's where we want to go, because I think there's a word for crisis in the what is it called, the Mandarin language. Crisis and opportunity goes hand in hand. Whenever there's a crisis, it's an opportunity. Opportunity to what? To win. It's an opportunity to go deeper. It's the opportunity for love to even grow. It's an opportunity for fruit development to take place. You know, like
turn this music off.
Yeah, like the fruits of the spirit, you know, love, peace, kindness, joy, long suffering. All of those are fruits of the spirit that we need to be manifested in our relationship occurs under pressure, occurs when a will is surrendered. You're not going to see love, patience, kindness, joy, happiness on its own merits, meaning you have to make a decision in order for those things to manifest itself in your relationship. And oftentimes, those things need to happen during crisis. I need to love you when I don't like you. I need to be patient with you when you're not meeting my expectation. I need to have long suffering with. I need to be kind to you always, not just when everything is going well. You follow what I'm saying? I need to have the joy of the Lord. It has to be the strength in our relationships, and all of those 7 fruits of the Spirit. And so tonight, with our time together, we want to pull back the sheets and really get deep into, how you are looking at the crisis that you're in.
And you're right. It's about the perception of the crisis. Now we know that crises occur, and some crises are major. Everyone weighs how major a crisis is, but crisis to me is a crisis. Crisis for me is something that's out of my control, but I have the power to fix it. Right. Sometimes.
Right.
Some crises you don't have the power to control because it's out of your hand.
Right.
Some crises you do have the power. We have been given the power to make adjustments. We've been given power to forgive. We've been given the power to correct, to change. We've been given the power. We can't expect someone else to do something that we can do ourselves. And when you think of crisis, when you think of a crisis, there's seasons in crisis. There is chronologically things that happens during a crisis that you have to go through. Just if you're going through a sickness, perhaps.
Yes.
And they said, take this medicine, you won't feel any
change.
Or not the word I was looking for, but you won't feel any change.
Different.
You won't see any difference or different change.
Right.
Or you won't experience the less pain after 48 hours, until 48 hours.
Right.
So then I say after 48 hours, then you'll begin to be able to do more. You'll be able to, if perhaps maybe you couldn't walk, or perhaps you have strep throat, you couldn't talk.
Right.
Maybe you'll be able to swallow. So there's a process. When a crisis hits you, there's a process that we have to go through in order to get back to where we were.
Right.
So back to where you are could mean when you met, it could be mean when you first got married, it could be mean just last week. So crisis creates opportunities for us to heal. So when we are in a crisis, we have the opportunity to fix the things that are broken, or fix the things that we know need to change.
Right, absolutely.
So it's a process.
It is a process. It is a process. I like what you said. I think we need to, we like principles. We're principle driven people, and so crisis breeds opportunity. And when you're in a crisis, one of the most important things that you need to have is the right perspective. Pastor Mo just said that, perspective, how you see a thing, how you see it. You got to get the right perspective on it, because if you're looking at it through lens of defeat and not victory, you're gonna think it's as hopeless. We're never going to recover from this. So your perspective is key, how you see it.
And if you're looking at your mate with the eyes that they'll never change, they'll always be the same.
Yeah.
I'll never get over this. So your perspective on, the area that what are we talking about again? Oh, I forgot.
Crisis.
Oh, crisis. So perception about the perception of the crisis that you're in.
Right.
It will fuel you to either accept it or don't accept it, but accept it with conditions. The reason why I accept you with conditions. You hear people say that before?
Yes, I've heard people say it.
So when you're in a crisis, you can't, in your relationship, you can't, well, I accept your apology or I forgive you, but
yeah,
you can't, you have to go in with it all the way in. You have to be sold out. This is going to work.
Right.
Yeah, I know you hurt me.
Right.
I know this is, you spent all the money. I know you did all these things, but a crisis, it gives you an opportunity to grow closer together.
Yes.
Have you heard people say that when they got sick or when they lost all their money or when they got laid off, some people say it brought us closer together.
Yes.
The pandemic
yes.
It was designed to bring us closer together.
Oh, I believe
to spend
that.
more time with your family, to spend more time with your significant other.
With all my heart.
I
did.
Believe
that with all my heart. I believe that with all my heart.
It was an opportunity.
That this pandemic created an opportunity for us to get closer together, for us to evaluate, for us to reset, for us to rethink, to look at where we are and plot the course, making sure we're going in the right direction. And so this crisis does bring us an opportunity, and your perspective has to be right. So whatever crisis you may be in your relationship, whether now or in the future, remember that your perspective is very key to you navigating your way out of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things as Christians, as believers,
everybody's not a believer.
You keep telling me that.
Yes,
I understand
everybody's watching is not a believer.
But principles never change. Principles never change. And so as a believer, your perspective should come from the word of God. Your perspective. So when you look at a crisis, you have to see the crisis the way God sees it. You have to look at it from a position of victory, not a position of defeat. You got to look at it that way. You got to see yourself. You got to see yourself getting out, getting better. Think about it. You can't let defeat you. You got to see yourself out of this thing. You have to be looking for, and one of the best ways to do that, and you said that's the importance of being all in. See, I don't think you really understand this until you get all in. Until you're all in, when you're all in, it helps you see opportunities because you have no choice but to look for a way out. But if you're not all in, you got 1 foot in your relationship and 1 foot out the door, you're not going to be able to see certain things that are right there available for you to take advantage of in your relationship. You won't be able to see it. Why? Because you have too many options. You have too many.
Eliminate the options.
Yeah,
there is no options. Yeah. There is no plan B.
That's right.
There's no plan B.
The mindset is that we are in this to death. That's the mindset.
And you have to think.
That's the mindset you gotta have.
What are you willing to do to make it work? And that's what you have to ask yourself. What am I willing to do to make it work? Even if you're single, what am I willing to do to become the wife or the future husband that I need to be? What are you willing to do?
Everything. Anything that's necessary.
Not necessarily necessary. It depends.
No, anything that's necessary. Whatever's necessary.
As far as change, I'm talking
that's
about
the
change.
Mindset.
A mindset of change and being better for whoever that is your mate.
But we're going to speak from a position of victory.
But I'm saying I'm talking to singles right now.
Yeah, I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah, but if you've experienced a crisis, then you are feeling left out, or you could be feeling, if you're single,
it doesn't matter.
You'll never get married.
It doesn't matter.
This happened to me.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What we're saying works whether you're single. It doesn't. No,
absolutely.
Your perspective is key. You fight from a position of victory, not a position of defeat.
Yes.
That's a perspective.
Yeah, you're right.
You make sure that you're all in.
All
in. And then you're able to see. There's something about seeing things when you're all in, when you have no other options.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you
eliminate the options, if you have an option to go back home to your mother, if you have an option to go live at a hotel, there's no option. We're going to stay in the same room.
On the side,
and you have an option to sleep on the couch. There is no option.
The couch is
not.
You got a boyfriend at the job. No, come on. if there is no options, what it does is it forces you to be creative, to address it and be creative.
Yes.
Because there's amazing.
And fix it.
When you burn the plank behind you, you can do nothing but look forward. When you burn the plank behind you, you can do nothing but look forward, and it's going to position you to win. There is I got a military story. There's a commander that took his troops to the battle, and they got off the boat. All the boats got off. The commander got off the boat, and all the men got off the boat, ready to take the hill. And then the commander gave the order as the boat sat there in the water. What do you call it when the boat is in the water? When the boat was in the water, the commander told his officers to burn all the boats. Now, burn all the boats. Now he took these men to the beach, to the war, and they looked over their shoulders and realized all the boats were burned. Then they had no choice but to take the hill. You either take the hill or you don't make it. And so the commander burned the boats up because he wanted them to know there's no other option but to move forward. We're going to win because we don't have no other option but to win. We're going to make it in our relationship because we have no other option. I'm with you. I'm in this to death. I'm in this to the end, and we're gonna make this thing happen. Because if it's not happening, make something happen. Come on. Come on. This is the attitude you have. So crisis breeds opportunity for our relationship to become stronger. You don't run in a crisis, you dig in a crisis.
Wow.
You don't run, you don't withdraw, you dig in. You get established by this present truth. And this truth that we're talking about right now, you don't run out of crisis, you dig in. Can you imagine?
Hi, Diane's on.
Aunt D, what's happening?
So what do you say to someone who's watching that their friend, their mate, or their significant other now has ran from the relationship?
Left?
Ran.
Is it over?
Because you said you don't run. You said you dig in.
You dig in.
But my significant other or my mate has ran. What kind of advice would you give to someone that's in that state right now? I need some hot chocolate. It's cold.
Well, that when another person is not as committed as you would like them to be, you become more committed. You make up the difference. If you're married to them, you make the difference up. Yeah, one sanctifies the other. So if you have an imbalance and one person is more committed than the other, then use that opportunity to become more like God, more like Christ. You use that opportunity to grow yourself.
And let me say this, because I know that many people don't realize that your mate sometimes does not respect you or honor you, and they should always, regardless of how you act. But because the example that you show them, it turns them off and they pull away. And you don't want to talk about that.
Oh, that's
but it's
good.
So true.
That's good.
You have to look at yourself.
Yes.
And if your mate is pulling away for good reason.
Yes.
For good reason.
Yeah.
Or you're not connecting for many reasons, you have to begin to examine yourself, because they're looking at you, and we've had it all the time. You do it to me all the time, and we do it to each other. You'll say, well, you do this, well, you do that. You're not perfect. And we'll use that against one another. And what it does is pull us away from each other, and the honor and the respect starts to dwindle, because we look at their proclivity to look at their imperfections and begin to judge them, when we should not be judging each other but helping one another. And that's a major problem in relationships. It's major.
I love what you said.
Oh, you love something I said?
Yes, I love that. I love that you said your righteousness got to be greater than their unrighteousness. Now, you didn't say it that way, but I'm going to say it that way. Your righteousness has to be greater. Okay. Your righteousness has to be greater than their dysfunction.
So in other words, for people who are not believers, and we want you to be believers, that your goodness and how you treat them has to be better than what you receive from them.
Absolutely.
So you have to take the higher
ground. Absolutely.
You have to be the example.
What did Michelle say? When they go low, we go what? High, right? And so, that's the position you have to take when there's an imbalance in the level of commitment. Somebody's got to be willing to die for the good of the relationship. Somebody's got to be willing to die, and you have to know when it's your turn to hang for the relationship. Well, Dr. Tim, what do you mean? I simply mean that when it's your time to hang, because this is the place where you unplug your emotions. This is the place where you are sacrificial. This is the place where you don't seek to get your needs met. This is the place where nothing is going to move you out of your commitment to win in the relationship. This is the place where that person can't touch you.
And we don't mean compromise your pure
it doesn't mean
values
compromise.
and morals and the things that you believe in.
Oh, absolutely not.
Sometimes you have to be the one that die at that particular time, even if it was just yesterday, because the grace that's been given to you, you have to give the same grace to the other person. And you have to be mindful when it's your time. Like, I know when it's my time. When he looks like he's about to he starts just certain things that he does. I say, I know he's had it. I just have to just bite the bullet and just say, I'm sorry, which I don't have a problem saying I'm sorry. And just, be nice and sweet and those kind of things. So you have to know when it's your time.
And here is a key. I'm glad
you know when it's your time.
No, yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I had one of those this week. One of the things, I hope you guys are really receiving this, because this is so real. We can't share it, but like this. How do you know when it's your time? Well, this is how you know it's your turn to die and to yield, not compromise. Yielding and compromise is two different things.
And then overcompensate.
I'm not going to go there yet. We can hit that in a second. But what I'm talking about is the one who is the emotionally unstable one. Sometimes it's you. The other person must die. When you recognize the one you're with is the one that's emotionally unstable at that moment, you have to die. Oh, come on. I'm going to say it again so everybody catch it. If y'all listening to me, please talk back to me if y'all understand what I'm saying. The one who is emotionally unstable, the other person must die. So, yes, because when you're at that point, like she said, she recognized when I had it with her. She recognized when I had it with her. She said, "Oh, I got to surrender right now because he has had it to be warm because he has had it with me. He has had it with me." And you've got to recognize, "Oh, okay, it's my." And that's both sides. That's both sides. You got to recognize that, because if you don't, and both of y'all at 100, oh, that's going to be a bomb. If both of y'all lose it, it's going to be it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. And you got to be able to recognize that. So in times of crisis, you're going to recognize, man, someone is actually stronger, spiritually stronger to handle the crisis than the other person is. And so that's the one that has to die at that moment. See, this thing goes back and forth. It's submitting one to another. Yes. You may have to die in one season. The other person may have to die in one season.
Hi, pretty Rick.
Hey, Rick, what's up? And so,
and the scripture also says that one sanctifies another. And this other scripture that I live by is that there are multiple safety, there's counsel. So when you are unsure on what your behavior is, or how to handle a situation, it's always a good custom to make a phone call or text someone and explain the situation and say, what should I do?
I like that. Important. I like that's a good.
You can't be so prideful that you're not willing. People like us who are on every week.
Yeah.
And we're solution driven.
Yeah. Pick up the phone.
So we live to solve a problem. We're problem solvers.
Right.
So you should always seek counsel when you're about to say something, do something that it's not right, although that you may think they deserve it. It's better to seek counsel so they can bring your emotions down, get you back in check, and get you back on track.
Right.
That's important to do that. And some people are so prideful that they won't do it until they've had it. And by the time you've had it, then you might as well just give the Lord the money. You come into counseling and you're like, we're sleeping in separate bedrooms.
Yep.
What? You have not given the person that has been designed and sent to you to assist you an opportunity to help you because you wanted to help yourself and you were selfish and you could be fearful and you were unforgiving and you were just prideful. So you shouldn't get to that point. You should never get to that point.
Pride is a relationship killer.
Mm-hmm.
It is a relationship killer. And so you've got to be able to recognize when you need to check and get counsel to confirm or affirm the situation, to make sure your perspective is right.
Absolutely.
To make sure, because I'm so heated, man, I can't hear. I'm offended. Let me get some perspective of somebody that I trust and give them the insight and make sure, or am I seeing this correctly?
Yeah, because the person that is going to assist you in this area will be able to have foresight, and they will be able to have insight, and they will be able to hear both sides and be the what's the conduit, the person who is in the middle that will be able to communicate with the other person.
The mediator.
Your mediator, exactly.
The bridge builder.
Yes, the person to communicate to the other person what you mean, because maybe they don't understand. Sometimes it's just a lack of communication, a lack of understanding, the cultures are different. Bringing two cultures together sometimes, or not sometimes, I always say all the time, bringing two cultures together is a challenge because you were raised differently. Your mindset is differently. You walk differently. You breathe differently. You raise kids differently. You do everything differently. And so when you come together, if you have a mediator, someone will be able to understand and communicate both sides to either one. It will help you understand the other person and have more grace. And when you have more grace, then you're more forgiving, you're more loving, you're more caring. Your emotions have been subdued. Now you're ready to listen. Because when you're at this point here and you're up, then you just can't hear.
Yeah. Rick says, think before you say it.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you don't have time to think, because sometimes it's just you don't have time.
That's because you got to manage that what we call that emotional roller coaster. When you're heated, when you're really about to blow it, you got 90 seconds. And you have to be able to manage that 90-second emotional roller coaster, because you will go 0 to 90. And if you can just hold off for 90 seconds, it allows you to think your way through it. Because when your emotions are running like that, it's hard to think. Because cognitively, our bodies were designed in such a way that we feel before we can cognitively process. We feel things before we can cognitively process. The place where our blood flows and the stem of our brain, it was created before we could actually think. And so your blood flows through that area before you can actually think. And so that's why it's so important
to have mentors.
And so you were talking about reaching out and counseling, getting counsel. It's got to be the right person.
Absolutely.
It cannot be the person that is so emotionally attached to you that they feel you. How do I say?
Well, a good counselor, it should still be able to counsel.
But you know what I'm talking about? I'm like talking about talking to somebody in your family,
like your mother, perhaps, and say, "Oh,
and they are
well,
so biased."
Yeah, oh, no, yeah.
That's what you gotta make sure you talk to somebody that's not biased. Mm-hmm. And that could be somebody in your family member, but you got to be able to recognize who that is, because if you share your wounds with somebody that loves you, that's dangerous. It's dangerous because they are biased towards you.
They're not going to be able to help you.
And so you gotta be able to share your wounds with somebody that can look outside the situation and tell you if you're wrong.
I'm going to say it because it needs to be said. We all need someone who is anointed in that area.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that means, if you're not a believer, someone who is talented or gifted, as we would say, to minister is what we say, but counsel and give good counsel in a couple situation or a couple relationship, because you have to be careful. You don't. Some people will say anything doesn't even make sense, and you believe them. All of a sudden, you're separated.
Yes.
You're sleeping in another room. They didn't help you at all.
And sometimes people love for you will have them give you bad counsel.
Don't take bad counsel.
Yeah, but they don't know it because they are emotionally,
they love you.
They're emotionally attached to you. Exactly. And they don't ever want to see you in pain.
Yes.
But they don't really realize that you part of the reason why you're in pain.
Like, for instance, if someone cheated on you, and you tell them they cheated on you, well, they deserve that because they didn't do, they love you.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work that way.
No.
And so
you're wrong.
Listen, crisis breeds opportunity. And just by the statistics that we see in marriages, at least 60% of you who are watching is in some type of crisis.
Yeah.
In their relationships. They're in some type of crisis. So it's essential that you look at this as an opportunity, not to separate, but to dig in. Mm-hmm. And not to separate, but to dig in and look at an opportunity to grow together, to love each other even more. And we're just dropping some nuggets on how you handle crisis. How do you handle crisis? And this is the best way to do it. Burn those bridges. Mm-hmm. I will say it again. If you have options to leave, or you got another chick on the side you can see, you got another man that you can go to, that's one reason why you're not all in. You're not all in because you got other options. Your love is divided.
And some people, they don't necessarily have to leave the house. Mm-hmm. They make the couch an option. They make the other room, the guest room, an option. There is no option. If you're all the way in, there is no plan B. You just have to work on plan A. Mm-hmm. There's no plan B, no plan C. There's only plan A, and I always say it's plan A with A, B, and C under A, but it's still all plan A.
But it is essential that we say it this way. God looks at crisis as opportunities. He doesn't speak from a position of defeat, even when things have not worked out. No, God will say, "Let there be light." And when in the midst of darkness, God says, we call those things that be not as though they were.
That's right.
Look at the perspective of that. Mm-hmm. I call my relationship blessed and prospering, even when it looks a hot mess. I call my husband my king, my Lord, even when he's acting a doggone fool. I call my wife gentle and pure, even when she is nasty. You call those things that be not. You don't feed the negative. You plant what you want to see fruit in. And so that's the challenges we have in crisis, because in crisis we have a tendency to feed the flames instead of to suffocate the flames.
Don't feed the flame.
Don't feed the flame. You suffocate the flame.
I like that.
Yeah, you got to suffocate the flame. You don't go tit for tat. No, that'll keep the flame going. When you're dealing with a lack of honor, then you give honor. When you're dealing with love, you give love. You go to extra. You go to extra mile. If the other person is not doing, you go. See, this is the perspective you gotta have And this is a position of a winner. Yes. This is not a position of someone saying, well, this ain't going to work. No, it ain't going to work because you think it's not going to work. Whatever you think, according to your faith, let it be done unto you. No, it'll work, baby, if you work it.
That's right.
If you work it. And you have to have that mindset. It's nothing that I'm not willing to do to make this work. Absolutely. That's the mindset that Jesus had concerning you and I.
Since you said that it'll work if you work it, you can get our book. You can just email us at ladymo@hgmde.org. It's called It'll Work If You Work It. Yes. How to Be Married for Life.
That's a good plug right there. Yeah, you can get that book. Just go ahead and email us. That book has over 150 years of married couples advice, and we're in that book. Dr. Mike wrote the foreword on that book. And it's a powerful book to get. And so, listen, with the time we have left, if you are still with us, talk to us about some of the crises that you may have been dealing with. That we can, we got a few minutes. Talk to us with some of the crises. Rick says he needs that book.
Email us, or you can just cash app. I think the book is $15. So you can cash app. Dr. Tim, right? It's Dr. Tim. What's the rest of it?
$ Dr. Tim.
Oh, $ Dr. Tim.
I believe
$15.
So. Yeah, I believe so.
And I'll get it out to you as soon as possible. Believe it or not, this will make a good stocking stuffer.
Yes.
We need to be talking about this. Yes. I think we have about 20 books left.
Yeah.
20 books left. Great book. I can't get it out. Stocking stuffers. It'll work if you work it. Some of the chapters are dying to self. We just talked about that. Love is not a feeling, it's a choice. Knowing who you are. The rebuild. The imperfect blend. That's good. Talking about the blended family. The grace factor. Taking this mess to the best. The polisher. The connected perfection. The truth about intimacy. You need to. All right, Cash App, I'll put it down there for you. Keep believing, make it last forever, and merging of two cultures. This book is fantastic. You say he needs two. We may not even have. I'm not even sure how many we have, Rick, but I'll find you another.
We have two.
We have two.
We have more than two.
Yo, here's one. Tell him to make sure we sign it. Yeah, tell him.
I just loaded up my Cash App, and you send that out, and we'll ship the book right out to you. And so this is it's been good. So tonight we got a few minutes. Why don't y'all shoot us some crisis that you may have been dealing with, and we can go
in the studio for you, Rick.
Yeah, give us. We got time for deal with one or two crises. Let me know what crisis you're dealing with right now. If you can do it in 1 or 2 words. And we'll do our best to give you some principle-driven solutions to handling the crisis that you're in. Come on. Let's do this. We got a few. What you keep mumbling about?
Sorry, honey. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, okay, we should have been.
I'm sorry.
Come on, you messing my broadcast up.
I'm so sorry. It's cold in here.
Yeah. So what crisis?
What kind of crisis?
What kind of crisis do you have? Talk to us. And what kind of crisis that we can just kind of throw some principles out and how to handle it. We've been married 24 years and counting. We haven't dealt with everything, but we've dealt with enough. And we've talked to a lot of couples over the years. We've been teaching couples for 30 years. That's not an exaggeration.
We've only been married 2014. We knew each other for 2.
No, we've been.
So that was only 24, 26.
26, yes. 26. Quite a while. We've been at it a while.
So we don't have any questions. Okay.
But that's too soon. It takes a minute for people to type in some stuff. And y'all send out some crisis. What crisis you're dealing with?
That I'm cold.
Do you don't like him right now? Was there unforgiveness? Is there betrayal? Talk to us really good, or maybe we can hit a few.
If you have a question that's private and you don't want to type it, with you and I need one with you and Pat.
Oh, he needs a one-on-one.
Okay. You have my phone number.
You can have it, Rick.
Email me, Lady Mo. Let me type it in for you. Lady Mo, you can send me an email, and
we can do a private Zoom session. We can do it. We can do a private Zoom session.
So I'll have my assistant call you as soon as you email me. I'll have her email you back, and she'll give you our schedule.
Yep.
Name of the book. Need that book. It's called "It'll Work If You Work It." And it's how to be married for life.
Did you tell them how many? Now that book was written
Relationship Doctors and Friends.
Yes.
Friends of ours, and we all wrote it together.
Give them the names of the book. I'm sorry. You gave them the chapters.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. I'm telling you to bless your life. Get that book, and my Cash App is up there. You go ahead and Cash App us.
Yes.
And make sure we have your address.
We're going to do a I forgot what it's called that fast. What are we going to do? What is it called? I can't remember.
Okay.
All of it.
Boot camp? What?
Yeah, we've done boot camp, but we're going to do a one-day seminar. A one-day seminar. That's what we're going to do.
Oh yeah. I know what
That's what we're talking. Okay. We're doing that in January. So please, we have $15. Thank you. So please look out for the seminar that's coming up. We're going to do one day, Saturday morning, and it's going to be on Zoom. So I think you'll have to have 100 people. Yeah. We'll have a date for you, probably a couple of days. You'll know. Also, Dr. Tim, while you're coming up with your questions, me put this out here. If your question is private, you can text me at 302-363-3681, and then we'll read your question. We won't mention your name, of course. Text your question to 302-363. I got 301. I type so fast sometimes. 3681. If you have a private question, you can text it to me, and we'll ask your question, and we will answer it. We will not mention your name. However, I was saying is that first we need 1,000 people to donate $1,000 for our Family Life Center, for our homeless, our seniors, our youth. We're excited about it. So please, we need 989 more people. 989 more people to donate $1,000 for our homeless and our youth and our seniors. So what I was going to say also is Dr. Tim will be teaching a course on how to study the Bible. You'll have volume 1 and volume 2, and it's going to be in the month of January. So I'm going to have that ready for you as well, so you can get put on your calendar. Yes, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's going to be a 4-week class for an hour and a half, and level 1 and level 2. Now, level 1, in order to have level 2, of course, we're going to have to ask you a certain amount of questions, because you don't want to be in level 2 and you keep saying, where is this in the Bible, or what you have to know a little bit. So, and it's good. You may want to take both, volume 1 and volume 2. It'll just be twice a week for 1 month. And he's a teacher, so you're going to learn how to study the Bible, let me tell you. And we'll also be doing the one-day seminar, as I said, for couples to get on track. It's the new year. We want to start off fresh. You want to make sure we've got it all together. It's going to be fantastic. Okay. And so if you don't have any questions, I don't see any questions, Dr. Tim. So you telling me we don't have any questions? There's no questions.
Okay. All right.
So, we appreciate you all tuning in, and those who missed my broadcast at 6:30. I'm having a mindset of success. It was great. You can rewind the video. You can watch the video, and, it'll be awesome. You hiding something from me? Yes, you are. No, we're going to fight. Y'all going to see us fight. Give me that phone. Give me that phone. You think you slick? Give me that slip. Give me that phone, rather. Well, thank you all so much. And if you don't have any questions, we thank you for tuning in to the Relationship Doctors with Dr. Tim and Lady Mo. Have a good evening.
See y'all later.
Bye. Oh, I forgot you can't do it like that, right? Keep thinking it's not mine.